The story of the Nephilim, these mysterious beings, has been forgotten for thousands of years. Did they really exist? And why were they erased from history? Let's explore this enigmatic tale hidden in the Bible and ancient legends. In the book of Genesis, there is a brief mention of the sons of God and the daughters of men. However, their relationship is never fully explained. Could this be an intervention of angels in the human world? A big question arises. If angels truly lived among humans, could they have created a giant supernatural race? The Nephilim beings born from the union of humans and angels are believed to be the result of a secret experiment. According to the book of Enoch, the Watchers, the supervising angels, intervened in human life, teaching them secret techniques and creating giant beings. These creatures were not only powerful, but also carried the strength of destruction and chaos. However, not everyone believes in this story. Some scholars suggest that the Nephilim tales are merely myths, symbolic explanations for strange phenomena in ancient history. Should we consider them a part of a legend, or is there truth in them? In various ancient cultures, the Nephilim are referred to as strange beings, those who might embody the combination of both worlds. If this is true, can we understand their role in history? The next big question: why was the story of the Nephilim erased from history? Was it because they were too powerful and could pose a threat to civilization? Or is there a political or religious reason behind it? The Bible indicates that the angels violated a major cosmic rule when they intervened in human life. Was the appearance of the Nephilim an experiment or part of a greater plan that we cannot fully understand? Why did religious leaders attempt to conceal the story of the Nephilim? If these creatures truly existed, it could completely change our understanding of angelic power and their intervention in humankind. The erased stories may not be accidental. Some theories suggest that the removal of the Nephilim from the Bible was a calculated plan. People may have wanted to keep these beings hidden to protect civilization from chaos. The presence of Nephilim in ancient texts raises more questions than answers. If angels did intervene in human affairs, what does this say about their true purpose? Were they simply messengers, or did they have their own motives? Many ancient civilizations spoke of giant beings of great power who walked among men. These stories exist in cultures across the world, from the ancient Greeks to the Native Americans. Could these giants be the Nephilim mentioned in the Bible? The Nephilim were said to possess immense strength and supernatural abilities. But why would angels, beings who serve God, choose to create such powerful creatures? Was it an act of rebellion, or did they have a greater purpose? Some scholars argue that the Nephilim were not simply giants, but a race of beings who were genetically altered. Their creation could have been part of an ancient experiment, one that crossed the line between divine and human. The Bible speaks of the sons of God taking human wives, but it doesn't go into detail about why or how. This mysterious event has puzzled theologians for centuries. What drove these angels to break divine law? In the book of Enoch, the Watchers descend to earth and teach humans forbidden knowledge such as how to make weapons and cosmetics. Was this a gift, or was it a curse that led to the corruption of humankind? Could the Nephilim have been more than just physical giants? Their powers could have included abilities beyond mortal comprehension, such as manipulating nature or controlling the elements. This would explain their feared presence in ancient texts. As the Nephilim grew in strength, they became a threat to both humanity and the heavenly realm. But were they destroyed in the flood, or did they survive in secret? The truth remains a mystery that continues to puzzle researchers and historians alike. The Nephilim may have had an influence on the ancient world that extended far beyond their physical presence. Some theories suggest they could have shaped early civilizations, imparting knowledge that was later lost or hidden from public view. The erasure of the Nephilim story could be part of a deliberate attempt to control knowledge. If humanity knew about these beings, would we have sought to harness their power, or would we have feared them even more? The flood, often seen as a divine cleansing, may have been the final act to remove the Nephilim from the earth. However, some believe that their bloodline survived hidden away, continuing to influence history in secret ways. In various cultures, stories of giants and gods who mingled with humans have persisted. From the Greek Titans to Norse gods, similar tales exist worldwide. These legends share an uncanny resemblance to the biblical story of the Nephilim. Could the Nephilim have been the original gods worshipped by ancient civilizations? Their enormous size and strength would have made them appear godlike to primitive peoples, and their influence might have shaped the very foundation of religious beliefs. The idea of hybrid beings part human and part divine is not limited to the Nephilim. Many ancient mythologies feature gods who fathered children with mortals. But what sets the Nephilim apart is their connection to fallen angels, beings who defied divine order. The Nephilim are not just mentioned in the Bible, but also in the Book of Enoch and other ancient texts. These writings provide more context about their origins and the potential threat they pose to the divine order and humanity alike. In the Book of Enoch, the Nephilim are described as violent and corrupt beings who brought chaos to the earth. Their actions led to the ultimate decision to send the flood, a divine intervention meant to cleanse the world of their influence. But what if the Nephilim's true purpose was misunderstood? Perhaps they weren't purely evil, but part of a larger divine plan that we are yet to fully comprehend. Were they the necessary agents of change for the evolution of humankind? Some theorists believe the Nephilim were part of a genetic experiment with divine beings tampering with human DNA to create superior creatures. Could this be the true origin of the giants and their extraordinary abilities? The existence of Nephilim challenges the traditional understanding of angels. If angels could fall from grace and become physically involved with humans, what does this imply about the nature of the divine and the celestial hierarchy? The disappearance of the Nephilim from historical records might not have been accidental. Many ancient texts and artifacts have been lost or destroyed, possibly to prevent humanity from learning the truth about these beings and their origins. The flood was not only a judgment, but also a reset for humanity. It wiped away the Nephilim and their corrupted influence. But the question remains, did their bloodline truly disappear, or did it continue hidden in the shadows of history? Throughout history, there have been whispers of giants and demigods. Could these stories be remnants of the Nephilim's legacy? From ancient Greece to the Americas, giant figures are mentioned in mythology, suggesting that the Nephilim's existence may not have been as erased as we think. In the Bible, the Nephilim are described as the offspring of sons of God and daughters of men. The ambiguity of this phrase has sparked endless debate. Were they fallen angels, or was there another explanation for their supernatural traits? The Nephilim were not just giants, they were said to have divine powers. Their abilities to manipulate nature and their immense strength could explain why they were feared and revered. But could these powers have been the result of genetic engineering rather than divine intervention? Some believe the Nephilim were part of a failed experiment attempts by ancient beings to create a new form of life. What if the giants were not divine, but the result of an ancient civilization's attempt to play God? The connection between the Nephilim and the fallen angels brings forth a chilling idea. These angels did not just descend to earth to observe, but to intervene in the creation of a new, more powerful race. Their motives remain a mystery, but their impact on history is undeniable. Could the Nephilim's abilities have been inherited from both their angelic parents and human mothers? What if they were not only genetically altered, but also imbued with powers that transcended both human and divine limitations? The Book of Enoch gives a detailed account of the Nephilim's actions and their impact on earth. They were said to have taught humans forbidden knowledge that led to the corruption of the world and the eventual need for a divine reset through the flood. In the aftermath of the flood, it is believed that the Nephilim were wiped out, but their influence lingered. Some theories suggest that remnants of their bloodline may have survived, influencing human history in subtle ways, leading to the rise of great empires and powerful dynasties. The suppression of the Nephilim story could have been part of an organized effort by religious authorities to control knowledge. If the truth about these beings came to light, it could challenge the very foundation of religious teachings and the narrative of human origins. The idea that the Nephilim's bloodline survived after the flood raises intriguing possibilities. Could the ancient kings and rulers who claim divine ancestry be the descendants of the Nephilim? The idea of giants walking among us may not be as mythical as we once believed. The concept of divine beings interacting with humans is not unique to the Bible. Across various cultures, gods and demigods have mingled with mortals. The Nephilim might be the biblical counterpart to these figures, serving as a bridge between divine and human realms. In some interpretations, the Nephilim were not evil beings, but part of a larger cosmic plan. Their existence might have been necessary for the shaping of human history, even though their influence led to widespread corruption and chaos. The flood may have been a response to the Nephilim's destructive presence, but their legacy could have lived on through hidden knowledge. The ancient civilizations that followed may have inherited this knowledge, leading to advancements that were both awe-inspiring and dangerous. Could the Nephilim's story hold the key to understanding the true origins of humanity? Their union with human women may have been more than just an act of rebellion. It could represent the beginning of human evolution, a blending of divine and mortal that shaped who we are today. The Nephilim's story challenges the traditional boundaries of good and evil. They were not entirely evil, nor were they entirely good. Their existence raises difficult questions about morality, divine intervention, and the nature of creation. As we explore the Nephilim's origins, it becomes clear that their existence serves as a reminder of the complexities within the divine plan. Were they simply pawns in a celestial game, or did they have their own agency shaping the course of history in ways we can't fully understand? The genetic theory behind the Nephilim raises the possibility that ancient beings may have tampered with the human genome long before modern science. Could these ancient experiments have led to the creation of other mythological creatures or beings with extraordinary powers? The Nephilim were not merely a footnote in biblical history, they were a catalyst for change. Their birth, their influence, and their ultimate destruction were part of a divine narrative that shaped the course of civilization, even if their story was intentionally erased. Despite the efforts to erase the story of the Nephilim, their legend endures. Whether through ancient texts, oral traditions, or modern-day interpretations, their story continues to captivate and challenge our understanding of the divine and the human experience. The Nephilim's legacy could be much more than a myth. Their genetic origins might have contributed to the formation of ancient heroes, kings, and rulers who claimed divine bloodlines. These rulers could be direct descendants of the Nephilim, inheriting both their powers and their burden. Many ancient stories about giants emphasize their role as both protectors and destroyers. In a way, the Nephilim embodied this duality, existing as both a blessing and a curse to humanity. Their strength and knowledge were powerful, but so was their capacity for destruction. The blending of divine and human could have had more profound implications than just physical traits. Perhaps the Nephilim's influence shaped the very structure of human society, helping to form the foundations of civilization as we know it today. In various cultures, giants were believed to have been the builders of ancient wonders, great pyramids, massive stone structures, and cities that have withstood the test of time. Were the Nephilim responsible for these marvels, or did they merely inspire the myth of such feats? The Nephilim's story also speaks to the potential dangers of divine intervention in human affairs. If angels could fall and breed with humans, what does that say about the nature of free will and divine authority? The Nephilim's existence may have blurred the lines between the sacred and the profane. While many have speculated on the nature of the Nephilim, there's little direct evidence of their existence. Yet the consistency of their story across various cultures suggests that there might be more truth to the legends than we've been led to believe. Could the Nephilim's powers have been the result of divine punishment? In some ways, their tremendous abilities might have been a consequence of the rebellion of their angelic parents. They were given strength and power, but also faced an inevitable fall from grace. As the Bible suggests, the Nephilim were a source of both awe and fear. Their influence in the world was undeniable, but it was also corrupted by their actions. What does this teach us about the consequences of defying divine order and the dangers of unchecked power? The eradication of the Nephilim from historical texts raises the question, was it a divine necessity or a deliberate cover-up? Perhaps humanity wasn't ready to understand the true nature of these beings and the role they played in shaping our early history. Despite the mystery surrounding their existence, the Nephilim continue to captivate the imagination. The question of whether these beings were real or symbolic will likely continue to intrigue people for generations, as their story touches on themes of power, corruption, and divine intervention. The concept of the Nephilim and their place in the divine order has been debated for centuries. Were they truly the offspring of angels and humans, or were they symbolic representations of divine rebellion and the corruption of mankind? The Nephilim's role in ancient history cannot be underestimated. Whether they were actual giants or a symbol of something more abstract, their story serves as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the consequences of crossing divine boundaries. Many modern theories suggest that the Nephilim were not just a race of giants, but also a warning about the dangers of tampering with creation. If the Nephilim were created through a natural means, what other kinds of beings might have been formed in the same way? The Nephilim are often depicted as a corrupted race, powerful and destructive. Their influence was not limited to physical strength alone, but extended to the hearts and minds of humanity, teaching forbidden knowledge that ultimately led to their downfall. If the Nephilim were part of a divine experiment gone wrong, then their legacy might be more than just a cautionary tale. Could the ancient civilizations that followed them have built upon their knowledge for better or for worse? The flood was not just a cleansing of the earth, but a cosmic reset. Yet the question remains, was the flood truly enough to erase the Nephilim's influence? Or have they left an indelible mark on human history, one that continues to resonate even today? Throughout the centuries, stories of the Nephilim have been passed down, often in the form of myth and legend. These tales could hold deeper truths not only about the Nephilim, but also about the human desire to understand the divine and the supernatural forces that shape our world. The idea that the Nephilim were erased from historical texts raises the possibility of a deliberate conspiracy. Did religious authorities remove their story to protect humanity from the knowledge of such powerful beings? Or was there a greater reason for their disappearance? Many believe that the Nephilim's powers were not just physical, but also intellectual and spiritual. Their ability to influence the world around them through both strength and knowledge suggests that they were more than mere creatures. They were instruments of change in ancient history. The Nephilim's existence challenges our understanding of divine order and human nature. Were they a warning about the dangers of crossing boundaries, or were they part of a greater cosmic plan that we are only beginning to understand? The story of the Nephilim is not only one of giants, but also of hidden knowledge. They were believed to have shared forbidden wisdom with humanity, knowledge that could change the course of civilization. What if this wisdom was the true source of their power? As we dig deeper into the Nephilim's existence, we realize that their story isn't just about giants or angels. It's about the interaction between divine beings and humanity, and the ripple effect that has lasted for millennia. The Nephilim's connection to the flood is central to their legacy. Their destruction wasn't just physical, it symbolized a divine reset, wiping away a corrupted race. But did this cleansing truly end their influence, or did they leave behind a trace? Across the ancient world, we find countless tales of powerful beings who shaped history. From Gilgamesh to Hercules, these figures echo the characteristics of the Nephilim. Could they be the same race spread across different cultures and mythologies? The Nephilim were said to have been giants, beings of incredible size and strength, but their power went beyond the physical. Their influence on the spiritual and intellectual development of humanity may have been just as profound. The Nephilim's story has always been shrouded in mystery, but one thing is clear: they were not ordinary beings. They represented a blending of two worlds, divine and mortal, that was never meant to be. Their existence challenges the boundaries between the sacred and the profane. Many ancient texts speak of giants who once roamed the earth. These beings were not just mythical figures, they were part of the ancient understanding of the world, beings of power and wisdom who left an indelible mark on human history. The disappearance of the Nephilim from religious texts could be part of a larger effort to suppress their true nature. What if they were not simply erased to protect humanity from their power, but to prevent the spread of knowledge that could destabilize society? As we explore the Nephilim's role in the Bible, we find that their story is not one of simple villainy. They were in many ways a reflection of humanity's desire for power and transcendence. Their downfall serves as a warning of the consequences of overstepping divine boundaries. The Nephilim's legacy continues to captivate us because their story is one of paradox. They were both divine and human, powerful, yet flawed. Their influence on the world, both positive and negative, raises important questions about the nature of creation and the divine plan. The Nephilim's influence may have been erased from written history, but their impact on culture and myth cannot be denied. Their legacy is carried through ancient stories, cryptic symbols, and the continued fascination with giants and divine beings in popular culture. The story of the Nephilim represents a deep mystery within human history. Were they divine beings that fell from grace, or were they the result of ancient experiments that sought to transcend the limits of mortality? These questions continue to spark debate. Ancient texts often hint at the Nephilim's connection to the origins of great civilizations. Were these giants the ancestors of kings and rulers, imparting their knowledge and power to the civilizations that followed? Their story may be intertwined with the rise and fall of entire empires. In their pursuit of knowledge, the Nephilim were said to have shared forbidden teachings with humans. These teachings, while powerful, led to the corruption of humankind. Could the knowledge they imparted have been more dangerous than any physical strength they possessed? The Nephilim's existence challenges the conventional view of angels and demons. If angels could fall from grace and interact with humans in such a profound way, what does this say about the nature of the divine? Is humanity truly separate from the celestial realms? The biblical flood was seen as a divine cleansing, yet it may have only removed the physical presence of the Nephilim. The deeper question remains, did their spiritual and genetic influence continue to affect humanity, shaping the course of history long after their physical destruction? The Nephilim story intersects with some of the most famous biblical narratives, from the Tower of Babel to the fallen angels of other cultures. Their legacy has left a mark on both religious and historical texts, suggesting that their influence may have been far-reaching. While the Nephilim story was erased from mainstream texts, some ancient writings, such as the Book of Enoch, provide more details. These texts, though not included in the canonical Bible, offer insight into the Nephilim's origins and their role in shaping the ancient world. The Nephilim were not merely monstrous beings. They were powerful figures with intellect and purpose. The interaction between these beings and humanity could have been a pivotal moment in history, influencing the direction of early human development and spiritual understanding. The suppression of the Nephilim story may have been a necessary step to protect humanity from the overwhelming knowledge and power they possessed. But now, as we uncover their story, we are faced with the challenge of understanding their true significance and the lessons they have to offer. The Nephilim story serves as a metaphor for the dangers of overreaching, of trying to bridge the gap between the divine and the mortal. Their creation and subsequent downfall teach us about the peril of defying natural and spiritual laws, leading to both greatness and ruin. Throughout history, stories of giants and powerful beings have persisted. These legends, although varying in detail, share common themes that align with the Nephilim's existence. Could these tales be fragmented memories of a much larger cosmic truth that has been hidden for centuries? The Nephilim were beings who crossed boundaries, blending the divine with the human. Their existence raises important questions about the limits of human potential. What if humanity's true power lies not in our natural state, but in our connection to the divine? The rise and fall of the Nephilim reflect humanity's constant struggle between power and humility. Their tragic end serves as a reminder of the dangers that come with unchecked ambition and the consequences of trying to rewrite the natural order of things. Some believe that the Nephilim were part of a divine plan set in motion long before their creation. Their eventual destruction may have been a necessary step to preserve the purity of humanity, preventing further divine interference in human affairs. The Nephilim story continues to challenge our understanding of history, religion, and the divine. Their legacy may have been suppressed, but it has not disappeared. The search for the truth behind their existence will continue to intrigue scholars, theologians, and seekers for generations to come. The mystery of the Nephilim lies in the contradictions they present. Were they angels, giants, or experiments? Their story is one of ambiguity, leaving us with more questions than answers about the true nature of these beings and their place in the cosmic order. While the Nephilim's physical existence may have been erased, their impact on the world is undeniable. The myths and legends that have survived suggest that their story has shaped the course of human civilization, from the rise of kings to the creation of monumental structures. The Nephilim may not be the only beings who cross the line between divine and human. Across cultures, there are stories of gods and giants who mingled with mortals, suggesting that the Nephilim are part of a much broader narrative about divine intervention in human history. As we uncover more about the Nephilim, we realize that their story is not just one of ancient giants or divine beings. It is a story about the very nature of creation and the boundaries that separate the human from the divine. The Nephilim's legacy challenges us to question everything we know about ourselves and our place in the universe.